Listen to this. A private American company facing a federal lawsuit. Wisconsin Plastics accused of discrimination after firing a group of workers over their poor language skills.
It's a move that the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission says violates the law. But are they right?
Let's talk to this guy. He knows the law. He is Judge Andrew Napolitano. Well, what do you think?
Well, it depends on what the facts are. I mean, if the facts are that English is a bona fide, legitimate requirement of the job, then they have to be able to speak English. And if they don't speak English, then they can be fired and the government can't get involved. If English is not a bona fide occupational requirement, that is, if they can do their job without speaking English, then they can't be fired for not speaking English. What is offensive to a lot of people is that the federal government in Washington, D.C. would intrude into a private relationship of a small corporation involving a local issue where there's no federal issue involved at all.
Apparently, these particular workers didn't speak a word of English. So if you're the boss, how do you tell somebody to either go do the job and do it this way, or it could be a safety issue. You know, if somebody screams fire and nobody knows what you're talking about, that's a problem.
Right. But sometimes when the federal government does this to corporations, they cave, they settle, they give the government whatever they want. They're terrified. It's the federal government suing us. We don't have the money and the resources to resist them. Sometimes there's a trial, and sometimes when there's a trial, the feds lose.
Well, what if the employer only speaks English? What if the boss only speaks English?
Well, again, it would depend upon the nature of their work. Is it manual labor where they can be told without a great deal of English what they need to do? Or are they dealing with the employer's customers and the failure to speak English is going to impair the ability of the boss to sell his product?
Well, wouldn't the boss know when they're hiring the individual? I mean, why is this a revelation to them 5 months after they've been hired?
That's the interesting part here. If English is required, why were these people hired? And if English is not required, why were these people fired?
Right.
But is this a job for the federal government to scrutinize? Now, look, the federal government can go left or it can go right. There's no secret where this president is, and there's no secret where his appointees are, and there's no secret where he wants it to go. He wants it to go in our faces because he wants us to live the way he wants us to live.
So you view this as political?
I do view it as political. However, we don't know what the facts are. Some of them are a little intriguing, as Clayton just pointed out. Why hire people that can't speak English? Or if they don't have to speak English, who cares what they speak?
Because going down the pike, you know, it's just a matter of time. If this were enforced, every business would have to have a translator for somebody who doesn't speak English.
You know, I had a judge show once many years ago.
Yes, you did.
And they wanted me to speak in broken, this was not a Fox product, they wanted me to speak in broken English because they thought it would gin up the audience. And we tried one of the tapes. It was hilarious and ridiculous, and the ratings went down. People have to understand what you're talking about.
Can we find that tape somewhere? Because I would pay a week's salary to see that.
Right. That's a nice attire you're wearing right there.
That kind of show. Comedy Judge.
Thanks, Judge.
Why wait?
Happy 4th of July,
guys.
such as it is.
All right.
Always great to see you.